discussing the Astamayama Sadhana. And we're going word for word. We're discussing word for word. Yesterday we discussed verse 13, Adarshanam Marmahatam. How that Radharani's feeling brokenhearted and a separation from Krishna. And now we're going to discuss verse 14. I'm giving another class. Very nice class. This is text 14. When this describes this is elaboration on darshanam, absorption in Krishna's happiness. How the Braja Gopis are absorbed in Krishna's happiness. There's the depth of the gopis' love for Krishna is shown by their fear that Krishna will feel pain when he walks in the forest. And then they state that in this verse. So they're thinking of Krishna wandering in the forest and they experience great sorrow. And this is again a verse from Gopi Gita, verse 11. Chalasi yad brajat charayan pashun nalina sundaram nattate padam Shilatrina kore siratitina kalilatam mana kanta gacchati. The Gopi said, O Pranavalabha, O Krishna Kanta, when you go to the forest of Braj to herd the cows, the soles of your soft lotus feet, which are like beautiful blue lotuses, they must suffer as they are pricked by the small stones and dry straw. Thought of this disturbs our hearts and minds. This is the thinking of the gopis. The gopis are thinking of Krishna's feet. And he's walking, and some difficulty he may be feeling. This is the extent of their love, that they're worried about everything, even about his feet. O Lord, when you leave the cowherder's settlement to take the cows to the pasture, then your feet, beautiful as delicate blue lotus petals, suffer on account of the pebbles and sharp grasses. O beloved, the thought of your suffering brings us so much pain that you become fixed in our minds. Then Vishnu's commentary. And of course, commentaries are usually given on the word for word. So here they're saying, when the gopis see Krishna going off to the forest, they start to engage in arguments with their own minds. So this is very interesting. It's amazing, the depth of perception of Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, who is Hari Vallabha. He's Vinod Vallari Manjari. His other name is Hari Vallabha, as a sadhaka. He sometimes signs his poetry like that, Hari Vallabha Das, servant of the beloved of Hari Radharani. But in his Manjari Sarup, in his Siddhadeha, as Vinod Vallari Manjari, he enters into the minds of the associates of Krishna, he enters into their hearts, and he says, this is what Krishna was thinking, this is what Radharani was thinking, this is actually what they're saying here. And if Krishna said, this verse is telling Krishna's statement, but in response to this, Radharani would have said this. And then he explains and it's amazing. No one before him has taken this liberty to enter so deeply into the minds and hearts. Hare Krishna. No one has taken this liberty, enter so deeply into the minds and hearts of the eternal associates of Radha and Krishna. He seems to have a free access there. Consequently, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Bhakti Shastras and the commentaries on the traditional books like the Gaudiya commentaries and Gopal Tapani Upanishad and Bhagavatam, of course, are so much appreciated by members of other sampradayas, the Nimbarki Sampradaya and Vallabha Sampradaya and other Vaishnava Sampradayas. They really appreciate the contribution, especially Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So in this regard, he says, Krishna, of course, he's not there. The gopis are separated from him, and this is from Gopi Gita, chapter 31. So they're imagining, oh, you've left us, you're wandering in the forest, and it's dark, you can't see anything. In the daytime, when you're wandering with your cows, you can see the pebbles and stones, and you can try to avoid them. But now it's nighttime, and who knows what you might step on out there, because it's very difficult and dangerous to walk at night, because you can't see clearly. And they themselves are sitting under the full moonlight of Sharad season on the bank of the Yamuna, and they're speaking this. So he says, the gopis are having arguments with their minds. One gopi says, oh mind. And one gopi is having this argument with her mind. It's the gopi speaking and the mind speaking. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining what the gopi is saying and what the mind is saying in reply to the gopi's statement. Very interesting. The gopis say, oh mind, if Krishna suffered when he went into the woods, then why would he go there every day? Oh mind, why are you wasting time worrying about Krishna? The mind says, you stupid milkmaids. The mind is, the gopi's mind who's saying this, and the gopi is speaking to her mind, hey mind. And the mind is saying, you stupid gopi. Have you ever had a conversation with your mind?
Yes.
Is it like every minute?
Yes.
Is your mind talking ceaselessly day and night? Do this, don't do this, this is good, this is bad, this, you shouldn't do this. Shut up, mind. I'm going to do it. No, it's not a good idea. Just take a back seat, man. And we go, don't listen, Gopi. The soles of Krishna's feet are softer than the hibiscus flower, which is that pink flower there. It's called hibiscus. It's used in, to compare the Radharani's feet are like tender hibiscus flowers. Listen, Gopi, there's so many sharp pebbles and twigs in the forest. How is it possible that Krishna's feet will not get hurt by walking there, barefoot? The gopi responds to her mind. You foolish mind! Of course, when he's walking in the forest, he walks on the soft, sandy paths, naturally avoiding all those coarse and rough paths which will be filled of stickers and burrs and pebbles that you're worried about. Then the mind says, listen, don't you have any sense at all? Do you think that the cows are some kind of robot? That they have some kind of software inside the cow? Walk on the soft sandy path. The cow walks wherever he wants to. He wanders here and there and here and there. He hears some sound, he follows the sound, or he sees some grass in the forest. He doesn't care. He makes his own path. Do you think the cows stay on the paths, all the soft sandy paths? They wander everywhere looking for grass to eat. Then the gopi replies to her mind, oh mind, you are blind with love. Krishna has eyes in his head, don't you know? Do you think he's not watching out for things that might hurt his feet? The mind says, listen, don't you have any love for Krishna at all? Don't you think he might get distracted and accidentally step on something that hurts him? Moment to moment, second to second, he's attentive looking at every place. You've all had the experience of walking barefoot on parikama. And at night or in the day, and you try to keep your eyes on the ground, but sometimes your eyes see a monkey or a nilgai. You see some nilgai grazing at the top of Govardhan Hill near Punchari in the early morning around sunrise. This nilgai, it's like, and then you look, and then you stub your toe. You hit your foot, or you step on some of those dried bobble thorns. There's a little twig with those nice thorns on it. Babul, nice kanta. They're long, nice and long, so they can go in nice and deep. And they're hard. And if that's not enough to really get you going, then these needles, these needles, they have a little poison on the tip. So when you step on them, usually, and they cut your foot, you usually get infected. It's very nice. And your feet get all swollen up and this and that. So that can happen if you're inattentive. As I say, it's like a razor's edge, a little inattention on the path, and bingo. So the path of Prikama Marg is like the path of Bhakti Marg. Then the gopis say, oh brother mind, what you say is true. It seems that we are made by God just to suffer this kind of pain, worrying about Krishna. The mind replies to the gopi, oh, you poor girls, you at least are able to remain alive. I, on the other hand, am leaving your bodies right now along with your life heirs because I cannot bear the thought that Krishna might hurt his feet while walking on these thorny, stony, stickery paths of Vrindavan. So you can keep your life, but your life heirs and I are leaving right now. This is a very interesting dialogue to show the extent of the gopis are arguing with their minds. Yes, he's being hurt. No, he's not. Yes. Oh, he is. And we're also suffering. We were just made to suffer because we're worrying so much about the potential or the possibility of Krishna undergoing some slightest pain. That is our lot. Providence has made us like that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur puts a verse in his own Bengali. Denulai brajahate jabe jhavane nalina sundara tava kamala charane shilan kure kashta habe manete bichari mahaduko pai mora ohe chitahari. O Shamaju, when you leave the cowherd settlement to take the cows into the woods, then I fear your feet, as beautiful and delicate as lotus petals, will suffer on account of the pebbles and sharp grasses. O stealer of the mind, ahoy chittahari. Somehow English never quite makes it. This, of course, is Bengali. Ahoy chittahari, O stealer of the mind. Chittahari, this is Mahaduka pai mora ohe chittahari. The thought of your suffering brings me great pain. Mahaduk. Mahaduka. Mane te vichari. When I think about this, when I consider this in my mind, I can't bear it. So this verse shows the extreme extent of love of the gopis. And there's a commentary here. It says that the gopis are remembering the loving glances of their pranakant Krishna. I was just thinking, I was reading this verse, it described Krishna's feet, because we should actually get involved with Krishna. We should, like someone said, oh, I'm really involved with this person. Acha? Do you know so-and-so is really involved with so-and-so? Acha? To what extent? So we should get really involved with Krishna. Everything about him should be attractive to us. And if it's not, then we should practice being attracted. That's what Vaidhi Sadhana is. It's practice. We practice on becoming attracted to Krishna. We don't want to go to Mangalarti because Krishna is there. And I'm in my bed. And I'd rather stay in my bed. I'm attracted to that more than seeing Krishna in the temple of Mangalarti. Oh, but my guru told me to go to Mangalarti every day. So on the order of Guru Agya, on that force, and here I am, Shiv Jago. I'm out the door, I'm going to Mangalarti. Oh, and then when I see in the morning Mangalarti, how Radha Sham are dressed. So when one sees that darshan, then he's okay, I came, but I'm not attracted. But as one goes further, he develops his attraction, then he wants to go, oh, I must see, how can I start my day? I'm just wallowing in this bed. And I can just, by a little bit of effort, I can get to the temple and see this beautiful, indescribably attractive forms of Radha Shyam Sundar. And you're rewarded. The smallest effort put into Krishna consciousness brings the greatest reward. We think it's a colossal event if we can drag this stool body out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like a major earth-shaking news. It's like earth-shaking news, it's live coverage from BBC and whatever other kind of Sony, this, that, all these news stations. So-and-so actually got up at 4 o'clock and bathed and got to Mangalartik. And then we see, you get rewarded with that, for that little effort of getting up. When you get there, gee, why don't I do this more often? I usually come and see the deities at 9 o'clock in the morning, or 8 o'clock, or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But they look different. Krishna's anurag, his attractiveness, it changes from moment to moment. What he looks like at 4:30 is not the same as what he looks like at 7:30. And what he looks like at 7:30 is not the same thing he looks like at noontime, or 4:30, or in the evening time. He's a person. He has different moods. It's not that he changes his clothes 10 times a day, a couple times, but you see different moods and different responses. So getting involved with Krishna means when we read a verse like this and it says that Krishna's feet are softer than lotus petals, then we kind of glide by all these wonderful adjectives and metaphors to describe the spiritual world and the members of the spiritual world. How they walk and how the body parts are. And then we take this one minute description of Krishna's lotus feet, or even that word, lotus. He says it's softer than a lotus petal. That's right. So we think, well, that must be soft. Well, let's go a little deeper than that, because it's kind of an idea or an assumption. But what if we've never seen a lotus flower? What if we've never seen a lotus petal? But if you've actually seen one and then you've contacted it and you've taken it, you take a lotus flower, then you see that different petals are softer than the other ones. Isn't it? Just like you take a tamal tree. An old leaf is kind of hard and firm and rough, but a new leaf is very soft, very, very soft. So the inner petals of the lotus, the newer ones inside, very, very soft. So if you touch that and you think, Krishna's feet are softer than this. And that's why the gopis are saying that. It's not that the gopis are thinking, oh, we're great poets, we're great kavis, we have to make some wonderful analogy here. But no, they make lotus garlands all the time for Krishna. Vaijayanti Mala, right? They make flower garlands. And then they pick up, oh, gopis, this petal's so soft. Then sometimes they massage Krishna's feet. They press his feet. And they say, oh, this lotus petal on one side. Krishna's feet are softer than this lotus petal. It's direct experience, it's realized statement. It's not a poetic expression of their literary expertise. It's direct experience. In other places in Shastras, it says that Krishna, that's his feet, which is pretty soft. So this is, because most of us are quite intelligent, I think everyone sitting here is very intelligent and cultured and experienced in life. And we want to appreciate when the Shastras say that Krishna's skin, of course his transcendental body, Satchidananda Vigraha, its skin is softer than a newly unfurled tamal leaf of a tamal tree. Okay, well that's great. I just run through this in the Stavamala and I'm happy with that. Well, an inquisitive scientific person like all of you are, and who wants to get involved with Krishna, and wants to get attached to Krishna, wants to know more about Krishna and feel more and experience, as much as he can with whatever he has within his command of mind and senses and body. He might say, what is a tamal tree? And they say, oh, and you're in Russia, or whatever. Oh, they're in Vrindavan or something like that. Maybe in Mayapur also they have. So then you come to Vrindavan and say, hey, could you show me a tamal tree? I say, yeah, here, I have it over there, there's one. Acha. There's any new leaves here? And they say, yeah, see this little at the end, this light green in color, it's a different shade of green. This is newly unfurled, new leaf. Acha. So you go, experiment, scientific experimentation. So then you touch the leaf. My God, this leaf is softer than a baby's cheek. So then you feel that leaf and you say, oh, this is so soft. And Krishna's skin is softer than that. That's his skin. And then his feet are like lotus petals and you touch. Then what's the conclusion? There's the hypothesis, there's the observation and experimentation, and the conclusion is that Krishna is really soft. And that's his body and his feet. But what is his heart? Krishna's heart is Radharani. Ladini Shakti is his heart. His love potency, his heart is where you love from. So when Krishna expressed his love potency, it came out as Radharani. So Krishna's skin is soft, his feet are soft, but how soft is his heart? Because Radharani is his heart. Krunamayi Radha. She's so soft and tender. It's a tender Kishori. Nitya Kishori Pritama Jodi. Shri Radhe. So now the gopis are remembering his gentle smile, joking and talking with them in seclusion, and their hearts become disturbed, and then they start to express, they speak directly towards Krishna. O deceiver of the heart, how can we keep our peace? We don't know. Our hearts are anxious, both when we meet you and when we are separated from you. And this is the tika to this verse, which is, all about this prem bhajan, which is all about, you can embrace me, break my heart, you can trample me under your feet, you can crush me by your loving embrace of intimacy and sweet love, or you can break my heart by not being present before me. Ashlishyava parvatam panashtamam. So the gopis, so this whole verse is all about, it's prem sambhog. Sambhog means together, enjoying together, but it's also separation is there. So the gopis are speaking like this. They say, listen. They say, our hearts are anxious because when we meet with you and when we're separate from you, the gopis are always anxious. This is the nature of free love. There's certain anxiety, there's no surety, there's no conviction, there's no confidence. This is spontaneous love. It's not love based on relationship. Marriage is love based on relationship, and theirs is relationship based on love. So it's not a legal bond. It's not a contract. So the gopis are a little anxious. Will we meet him tonight for the Avisar lovers triest? Or maybe he doesn't come. So there's nothing sure, but a wife never thinks, well, will my husband come home tonight? It's sure, it's patent, it's standard. This is relationship. This is love-based, relationship based on love, as the gopis. So now they're speaking like this. They're disturbed. Oh, Krishna. Of course, they're not speaking directly, they're just speaking to the Krishna that they see in their mind. Oh Krishna, in the morning you're surrounded by countless sakhas. You take innumerable cows to the graze in the forest, and the Brijvasis, deprived of your darshan, are plunged into a deep ocean of separation from you. Brijvasis, that means everyone, including them. When we think of your lotus feet, which are softer than 1,000-petaled lotus, and we think that when you're walking in the forest, following the cows who are walking hither and thither off the path, your feet will become pierced by the dry straw, thorns, sharp grass, and so forth. Then that thought sinks our heart in a fathomless ocean of anxiety. How can we tolerate any pain to your feet? which we consider non-different from our hearts. Sometimes they have an expression, your heart is my heart, you're in my heart, you're in my heart forever. And the gopis are saying that your feet are our heart. Just like there's that pastime in Varsana, when Chandrabhanu invited his brother Vrishabhanu for dinner. And then, of course, Vrishabhanu went there to Chandrabhanu's village, which is near, of course, Varsana. Because Chandrabhanu and Radharani went also to see her cousin. Not her best of friends, but this is a family affair. Oftentimes you go to family affairs and you find people there that you don't like so much. Cousins or whatever. I have phrases in America, kissing cousins, but it's also cursing cousins. Cursing the cousin. So Radharani's father is Vrishabhanu and his brother is Chandrabhanu, and Chandrabhanu's daughter is that one. You know that one? That one. Chandravali. So now Radharani is going to her uncle's house to meet with her uncle and aunt, Mama and Masi or whatever it is, and her cousin, Chandravali. So Vrishabhanu, Kirtita tells Chandravali's a little older than Radharani actually. Quite a bit, it says in some shastras. At any rate, they're all quite beautiful, obviously. She's so beautiful also. Captivating to Krishna's mind also. So the mother, Chandrabhanu's wife, she says, listen, you know that Radharani, she likes to take hot milk at night. So then she asked Chandravali to make that hot milk. So then Chandravali made the hot milk. But she didn't cool it down, because it's one thing to boil the milk 3 times so it becomes pure. Prabhupada told us you should boil it 3 times. So I boil 3 times. And then that means you put it on the fire and it's not like, doesn't take much time. You put it on the fire and it rises like that, big foam. Then you cut down the fire and it goes down. Then you turn off the fire and it goes up and down 3 times. That's what it means. It happens in about 30 seconds. On, off, on, off. And each time that vapor cloud rises, some kind of purification process happens there. And then after 3 times, it's considered quite good. Prabhupada showed the devotees also. In New York, he did it himself. And I learned from a devotee who was there. Parampara. Parampara, milk boiling. So that's how things were passed down in the early days. From cooking to preaching to everything. Some Prabhupada taught someone mridanga, and he taught the next guy, and he taught the next guy, and this and that. So she didn't cool down the milk, she just boiled it, and she could have put it on a tali, or she could have cooled it with a fan or something and made it proper temperature to drink, but she didn't. She just served it here. Radharani was assuming that it was made like her mother makes it, because every night Kirtita makes her hot milk, and it's nice. You drink it, you know. Oh. So Radharani just took the glass and okay, thank you. And then she burned her mouth, she burned her tongue. And later that night, Krishna went for a lover's tryst, and he met Chandravali. And Chandravali said, you must be tired from walking to Gauri Tirtha, to my kunja. Near Govardhan, it's quite a long way. Let me press your feet, Shamaju. So then Krishna said yes, he's reclining on the flower bed. So then Chandravali went to press his feet, which are softer than 1,000-petaled lotus. She says, oh, Sham, there's blisters here. Somehow it seems your feet have become burned. He said, yes, you burned them. I burned them? How? You burned my feet, don't you know? Did you just serve, earlier in the evening, you served hot milk to Radhika. And Radhika is, she is my heart, my feet, everything. So as soon, if you burned her, then it burned me. Because we're inseparable. So she was obviously quite feeling very shameful about that. This pastime is there. So the gopis from their side, they're saying, Krishna, your feet are our hearts. How can we tolerate pain to your lotus feet, which we consider non-different from our hearts? First, we suffer separation from you, in separation. And then on top of that, we suffer the pain caused to your crimson lotus feet, which means reddish. How can we tolerate this? Both types of pain. It's interesting that it's quite an amazing concept of pain, threshold of pain, as they say. Pain, threshold of pain. Usually people are worried about their own pains. In fact, that prophet preaches like that. He said, no one can understand the pains and pleasures of another person. You don't know the condition of my heart. Because usually people hide it all with, hello, hi, how are you, fine? All kinds of artificial facial expressions and postures. So we're good at hiding. You can fool some of the people some of the time. So we're concerned with our own pains, but the gopis are saying, we suffer on our account when we're separated from you, we suffer because we don't have an opportunity to serve you and please you. So then what's the point? So we suffer in separation from you. But then, so that's on our side, we suffer. But then we suffer, you're suffering also. So we know you're suffering. Prabhupada said that ordinarily in the material world we don't know or sense or feeling the suffering of another. And the gopis are saying, we suffer when we're separated from you, and we suffer when we think that you're suffering. So this is an incredible extent of their heart's attachment to Krishna. Both types of pain break the barrier of our endurance. O Pranakant, please do not abuse your lotus feet. We remember that while roaming throughout the forest with you, you would ask us to remove the thorns that pricked your feet. We would put your feet on our body and remove the thorns gently and slowly. But when your feet are pricked now, who will remove the thorns? So this is a very nice pastime. It indicates it's real time. It's really Nara Lila, and are really thorns. Although this is the line of thought and the line of the way the pastime is moving here at this particular description of this type of pastime. Actually Krishna does step on thorns. And the gopis are right there to remove them. That's why they're worried also. Who's going to remove them? Because if you step on a thorn, you have to hold on to somebody's shoulder. It's very hard to get a thorn out of your foot yourself. You can't see it sometimes. You just go. So they're saying, we would do that service for you. So we're worried. Who will do it now? This is. Now other commentaries, when they describe the pastimes, they say that Yoga Maya, Krishna's pastime potency, his internal potency, Yoga Maya, there are thorns in Vrindavan in Krishna's time. Babu, Kanta, Babel thorns and stickers, and they do hurt the feet. And small pebbles. And they were there 5,000 years ago, although we say Chintamani Prakara Shadma Shakalpa Vriksha, the ground is all made of Chintamani gems. That's Vaikuntha. You bet your bottom dollar, as they say, or bet your boots, or whatever, that in Vaikuntha there's no thorns. Absolutely not. But in Vrindavan, this is a village. It's not a royal city with all diamond-studded roads and emerald lampposts. These are the footpaths. They're named Prem Gully and Man Gully, and they're lined with trees, not emerald lampposts, like Vaikuntha. So there are thorns and stickers, and Yogamaya, they're there, and the gopis see them. Other commentaries and purports I've read like this. The gopis see them, and they worry. So these thorns and stickers are there to create as an udipan, an excitant or a stimulant to arouse and to increase the anurag of the gopis, the renewed, ever-fresh attachment and ecstatic rapture with Krishna, that they, look at that. Look at Saki, see that thorn? Ooh, that's a terrible thorn. I hope Krishna doesn't come this way. And they start worrying and become more and more absorbed in Krishna. So every object in Vrindavan, Brajabhumi, every thorn, every tree, every animal, they're simply udipan, they're simply part of the environment arranged by Yogamaya, Purnamasi, and Brindadevi to increase the loving exchange between Radha Krishna and the gopis. Krishna and the gopis. Radharani. So now the Acharyas say that Krishna is walking, and this is other commentaries, when he's walking and he steps, when he's about, that thorn is there, he doesn't see it because he's following the cows wherever they wander here and there. When he sees the thorn, and then he's coming to step on the thorn, that thorn turns into butter. Because, it's psychedelic region, Thorns become butter. Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. Krishna can eat with his ears, eat with his eyes. So it says the thorns become softer than butter by the influence of Yogamaya. So Krishna doesn't, if you step on a piece of butter, it's nice. It's nice emollient for your skin. So this is, on one side, this is actually happening. That they're there and they see, and the thorns are there for the gopis to worry and increase their anurag and attachment. And it's part of the landscape. The landscape of Vrindavan is the landscape of the heart. This is the whole, Vrindavan is the heartland of Radha and Krishna. This is the heartland. We say, this is Prem Dham Vrindavan. What does it mean, Prem Dham? Okay, that's all his words, I don't understand. Prem Dham means heartland. This is the heartland of this land. This is the heartland. And we say it's like a lotus. This Braj is like a lotus. When Radha and Krishna have to go great distances to meet, to be far away from their superiors, and they might be, Radharani's in Varsana, and Krishna is way down on Vamshivat. It's 40 kilometers away. So by one level, the lotus appears like this, 40 kilometers. But then Yogamaya, to facilitate the pastimes, because Vrindavan is the land of love, then immediately the lotus closes. When the hand is open, the thumb is a long way from the pinky. This is the thumb and this is the pinky. But when the hand closes, then they touch. So Krishna can easily go from all the 12 forests, like you can walk from one finger to the other, right? You step on the thumb, you can walk to the pinky, middle finger, right? But then you go like that, then you have to walk down the thumb, across the hand, out to the end of the pinky, right? So lotus Braj is opening, like the heart. The heart is opening and closing. Heartland of Radha and Krishna, heartland of the soul. And when one comes to Vrindavan, then he develops his heart. And Krishna enters his heart. So but the gopis, they say, wait a minute, okay, that's fine. That's another verse, there's another pastimes. But here it's, we walk with Shama, he steps on the throne, right. And then they take them out, and we were there, so we know. In fact, there's a funny pastime like this, that we told on Brij Mandal, probably heard maybe already. But this is told, this pastime in Ram Leela, something about the difference of the relationship, the intensity of love, because the Ek Patni Brata, and Ram loves Sita, and he refused the hand of anyone, of any other beautiful queen or celestial divine personality, comes to surrender to him and serve him, and then he even may have his brother disfigure them. He's so staunchly attached and connected with his Ek Patni Brata, his Sita, And then there's a pastime about when they're wandering in Chitrakoot, Sita Ram. Very beautiful forest like Vrindavan, waterfalls and lakes and forests. Even today it's a very, very beautiful place. It's also in UP, Chitrakoot, in that way. And they were wandering along and Sita stepped on a thorn. And then she, oh, Ram, I stepped on a thorn. Oh, acha. She stopped. And then she put her hand on Ram's shoulder and lifted up her foot. Then Ram went like this. He looked all around for many minutes. He was like looking like this. And she says, what are you waiting? Oh, it hurts. Take it out. Just pick it out somehow. He was hesitating. And he wasn't attending to her pain or to the thorn. And usually you would think immediately you want to relieve the pain of your beloved, attend to the difficulty. And so then she said, why are you looking around? He said, well, I'm a king. You want me to touch your feet? I mean, they're walking on the ground and, this cow dung and this, that, mud and, it's like, it's not good for my fingernails. And moreover, I want to, but okay, fine, but okay, you're a king and my feet, but why are you looking here and there? Well, I want to see if anyone is, maybe any villager, nearby villager, anyone may see, because this is completely unheard of, that the king is touching the feet of his queen. This is completely out of the question. It's impossible. The king is getting his feet pressed by the queen, or but the king touching the feet of the queen, this is never happened in 1,000 years of royalty. So much consideration. What is the rule? What is the maryada? And then love is like somewhere in the background in Ram Leela. Now we take Dwapara Yuga, a few thousand years ago, Krishna Leela. So Radharani, sometimes she plays like little tricks with Shama. She's very tricky, Radharani. So is Krishna, but not as tricky as Radharani. So she's walking along the forest, maybe Vrindavan, some forest, and then she stepped on a thorn. She pretended. And Radharani's nice. So she's, oh, Sham, I stepped on some thorn. Quick. And immediately it's Priyaji, he just immediately bent down and then she put her hand on Alita's shoulder, Vishaka's shoulder, and she lifted her foot. Oh, and he picked her foot, picked her Radharani's feet, and please, and he took his pitambara, his uttariya, then he brushed all the brajaraj off, and he's looking very tenderly, holding Radharani's feet, very concentrated glance, and looking, with this all full heart and mind and attention. And where is it hurt, Radharani? Because he has to find out where is it. So then he thinks maybe here, underneath her big toe. Is it here under your toe? Here? And she says, no. Acha. Oh no, this must be it. Under here, in the middle of the foot, there's some mark there. The little there? That's pain? Little? No. Acha. It goes down to the heel of her foot and the bottom of the heel. And this, I think this is it. This, no. Quick, Sham, find it. Come on, hurry. I can't walk. So he's looking. This? She's, no. Now the gopis are going like this, All the manjris and gopis are going, because it's a joke. And there's no thorn. And so then Krishna's getting exasperated. He's perspiring, drops of perspiration coming in his forehead. And he said, Radharani, I don't know. I'm trying my best to find out where it is. I can't find. And then somebody let out a hoot, or somebody giggled or something. And then Krishna, because his whole concentration, his body, mind, soul, everything was on Radharani's charan, chinna, on her feet. And then he looks up and everyone's going, their eyes are watering. stop. And then Radharani said, actually, there's no thorn. Oh, Radharani. Ananda Kanda Bhagavan ki Jai Jai Shri Radhe. So, you see the difference between Krishna Lila and Ram Lila. In Ram Lila, there's so much vichar, so much lok vichar, consideration of the people, the vox, we say, in vox populi, the voice of the people, the vox populi. What will the people think if they see me touching the feet of my wife? This is unheard of. This is breach of dharma. And so, well, what do you know about that? But they say, we think, O Kanta, surely your soft, tender lotus feet will be pierced by thorns, sharp grass, and stone chips. By such thoughts, our minds begin to dispute with us. And that we already read, how the mind is arguing back and forth. And this part of the purport is taken from Vishnu. So from this purport, we have some nice... it's Vishnu's Chakravarti's purport, but it's not separated. It's kind of interwoven in the commentary. And this in this particular edition, it's just Vishnu's Tika, as it is, and very nicely, very nice English. But what we did find here was a nice addition of a pastime that we didn't find in in the other one. So the dialogue we already discussed, so I think we can, that's a very nice, how the gopis feel is adarshanam marmahatam. Adarshanam marmahatam karotava. Without seeing you, Krishna, adarshan, then marmahatam, our hearts are breaking. We feel great anguish and anxiety, and we're worried about your health and safety and welfare. This is Bhajana Rahasya. And tomorrow, one more verse, we'll talk about this, Darshanam, text 15.